What's up, OKC Thunder fans? Tonight, the Thunder played the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they lost. I don't even know what the score was at the end because when it got really bad, I have to be honest, I turned it off. I was very encouraged during the first half of the game because it seemed like quite a few of those things that they weren't doing last night, they were doing in the first half of this game. So I thought it was going to be a good one. I thought we were going to pull it out in the end. But the Timberwolves have so many... They have so many assassins on that team. Jeez, I completely forgot. I mean, Jeff Teague, Karl Anthony Towns, Jimmy Butler, Taj Gibson, Jamal Crawford. It's like the list keeps going. Unbelievable. Really unbelievable. And Tom Thibodeau is their coach. The actually funny part about that was I'm watching the game and I just hear this yelling and this screaming, and I'm thinking to myself, who is that? I'm like, it can't be a fan. And of course, it's Tom Thibodeau. I forgot how completely mad he gets as a coach. And, it got me thinking, Billy Donovan's pretty quiet, huh? You never see that guy mad. I mean, he's gotten like one technical the whole season so far. I would kind of like to see him have a little bit more rage, get angry. This actually goes back to what I was saying about all that extra stuff that you get in the bigger markets, because I would like to see more interviews with him. I would like to see more interviews with him, see how he's relating to the players, the new players on their team, and what he thinks some of these problems are and how they're going to fix it, holding guys accountable. Wow, they just completely exposed all of OKC Thunder's weak points. And at one point, it just seemed like Russ was the only one who cared. You could always count on him for that, but at the same time, wow, those other guys, they gave up at a point. I mean, they just handed that game to Minnesota. Very, very upsetting. Very upsetting showing. We have to win the next one. This is 3 games in a row right now that we lost. And you know what's funny is that I hate to say it, but Paul Pierce, he was right. He was right. He said at the beginning of the game, he said the Timberwolves were going to win this one. And he's been, like, I don't know if you do fantasy, but if you listen to him, he's been spot on this season. It's kind of crazy. I'm just hoping that Charles Barkley is not correct, because he said that the Timberwolves would be a problem for OKC come playoff time. He said he didn't think that OKC could beat them, and they've lost a few games to them in the regular season. I know playoffs is completely different story, but yeah, hopefully that's not the case. You know I was hype, though. You know I was hype at the end of the first half of the game when Melo had that dunk at the end. That was dope. And here I am thinking, oh, he's hot. It's going to be good. Could we miss any more shots? The announcers were saying how many shots they were missing. It was an abysmal amount. It's like nothing was going in the hoop. Literally nothing. I mean, the basket was like this big. Wow. And a lot of terrible passes. Just completely terrible passes. It was almost like they were just throwing it without looking. How many times the passes were, they were wild. Guys diving on the ground to grab these loose balls that were just carelessly just tossed. Did not take care of the ball at all. And it's like when shooters are not making their shots, that puts them in such a funk. So even running back to defense, they're thinking about how they just missed a shot, and how they missed another shot, and how they missed another shot. And it's like this endless cycle. I did appreciate how the announcer, I'm not sure who it was, but he was saying that how Tom Thibodeau was using 10 players of his bench, and Billy Donovan was using 4 in rotation. And that's exactly what I went back to saying yesterday. We're not using our bench. We have guys sitting there. Dakari Johnson, he was pretty good. When he had that time to play, listen, he was pretty good. Steven Adams cannot play 48 minutes at a high level. And him and Russ just weren't connecting. So you got to put someone else in there. Change it up. We got to change it up. Whatever we're doing, it's not working. So we're going to have to work with the pieces that we have and make it happen somehow. Because this is not it. This is not it. This is not what Paul George signed up for. This is not what Carmelo Anthony signed up for. Russ, don't play yourself. Yes, you're a fantastic player. Everyone knows that. Reigning MVP. Okay, we get it. But learn to play in the sandbox a little bit. Because right now, all I see is a lot of getting on guys' backs, but how are you going to help them? How are you going to help them to succeed? You know, you can't just place the blame game on everybody else. Especially when you're the one who's orchestrating everything. What's it going to be? What's it going to be? And we're approaching All-Star weekend, All-Star break. What's it going to be, guys? They're going to make the playoffs. That's not the question. That's not the question. The question is, what seed are they going to be? And who are they going to have to beat to get to the next round? That's my concern. Because the West is tight. We all know this. The West is tight. And we would prefer them to play a team that we know they're not going to have a problem beating. And clearly we don't want them to be the 8th seed so that they have to compete against the Warriors or, it would be the Warriors, most likely. We don't want them to be 7th seed because then they have to play Houston or the Spurs. This is not preferable. So, and it's like the top few teams in the Western Conference, the division between those seats and the ones that are like 5th to 8th or 5th and lower, that there's this growing separation. I mean, so they're getting further and further away from each other as the season progresses. We all just need to take a deep breath. That's what we need to do. We need to take a deep breath and just know that we have the OKC Big Three. They came to play. These 3 dudes, they're not going to let this happen. Not with all 3 of their names on the line, all 3 of their brands on the line. They're not going to let this happen. We know this. From a business perspective, they're not going to let this happen. So let's just keep our cool. We're cool. We're cool. And carry on. Let's just keep cool and carry on. That's my motivational talk. Hopefully it worked. It's really more for myself than it is for anyone else. All right, so listen up. I want to know what you guys think about this game, about what we can look for in the future, or what you think needs to happen to make this team get it together. And hey, keep it real. Thunder up.